Not only can treating life like a game make it more meaningful, it's the only way for it to be meaningful. And I can show you with a picture. Get it? No, of course you don't. It makes no sense. There's no meaning. But watch this. Now it means something. Now there's purpose. Now there's a reason that all these red dots are in conflict. Actually, the red dots aren't in conflict. They're a single team. They might be in conflict. I don't know about the drama going on in the locker room. Point being, there's now a reason that these red dots are on the whiteboard. If you don't have a game you're playing, there's no purpose. Now, some people aren't going to like calling their personal purpose a game. They'll feel like it minimizes their life's work. And that's okay. They can call their game whatever they want. It's a metaphor. They can call it religion, family, business, education, sports. I guess that actually is a game. Doesn't matter what they call it, as long as they have one. It's not necessarily a fun game. Sometimes the coach is a dick, makes you run the bleachers. Oops. Hey, if you like making life just a tiny bit more bearable with dubious mind games, come along, I got more.
If there is no meaning, why do you care that there is no meaning? Well, because as a human, I'm a sucker. We're all cursed to crave an ultimate purpose when there's none to be found. It's like we're desperately hungry, but living in an alternate universe where food doesn't exist. Now this question, if there is no meaning, why do you care that there is no meaning, is very different depending on whether it's asked in good faith versus not. Let's look at both. Asked sincerely, this question gets straight to the heart of absurdism. Absurdism is a name for the conflict between our drive for ultimate purpose and the universe's inability to provide it. And absurdism can't go very far in solving the problem, but it does name it. Knowing it's labeled, knowing my deep-seated personal difficulties are described on the absurdism Wikipedia page, is actually surprisingly comforting. We're social animals. If our problems can't be solved, we at least want to know we're not alone. Other people feel this shit too, right? Yes, we fucking do. Now, if the original question is asked to make a point rather than inquire, I have thoughts on that too. Come along if you want to. Every single game proves that humans will make meaning out of meaninglessness, but there's one game that rises above all the rest. But first, come with me on a quick aside. Sisyphus is the go-to example of futility because he was cursed to roll a stone up a hill only to have it roll back down again so that, yay, he could do it again. And then Camus came along and observed that if that's an accurate portrayal of the predicament of our existence, then our only hope for fulfillment in life is to imagine Sisyphus happy. And there is one sport that demonstrates how to do that so perfectly, I can barely even handle it. Bowling. When we bowl, we are acting out the myth of Sisyphus on a Friday night with greasy pizza, grain belt by the pitcher, and a motherfucking disco ball. Throw a rock, it rolls on back. Same every time. It's the definition of futility, and yet, it's one of the most fun things ever devised by our meaning-making species. If you love bowling, or even just see why someone else might love bowling, you're only one step away from seeing why some people love existing. Now I want to go bowling with Sisyphus. You should come along. First round's on me.
The universe absolutely has meaning, and I can prove it. Let's take the most meaningless possible way we could come into existence. Evolution. Blind process. If I can show that that has meaning, anything can have meaning. The physical laws of the universe simply are. They're not predetermined. So here we are, a result of those physical laws. And by the transitive property, do you remember this? The transitive property, that's like if x equals y and y equals z, then x equals z. So by the transitive property, we know that if the universe created us, and we create something else, the universe created that something else. You see where I'm going here? For instance, we create more people, and that's the universe creating more people. We developed consciousness, and now the universe has consciousness. We make meaning, and now the universe has meaning. It really is that simple and that magical. Does it have ultimate meaning, a singular purpose that transcends the universe itself? No. Or if it does, it's definitively beyond us. But why are we even asking that? The universe has also created cats and committees and particle board furniture, and nobody's worried whether there's an ultimate version of those. In fact, let's hope there's not, right? It's the same with meaning. An ultimate version? Let's hope there's not. Hey, if you like twisting ideas around until they don't hurt so bad, come along. I got more. One of the biggest reasons it's hard to find meaning in life is not that meaning is hard to find. It's that meaning, by its nature, is not something to be found at all. It's like color. You don't find color, you notice it. Let's say you felt an absence of color in your life. You wouldn't go on a quest for color. You'd just look around. It's the exact same thing with meaning and purpose. We already have meaning. We just need to notice it. And yes, there are other meanings and more purposes out there for all of us. Just like there are other colors outside of the room you're in right now. And maybe they're brighter and more appealing. But why not start where you already are? Something matters to you. Notice it. Accept it. Build on it. Maybe it's seeing if you can arrive at work exactly when the song that's playing ends. Maybe it's learning to play creep on your new theremin. Maybe you have a loose thread on your shirt and you need to go to the kitchen to get a pair of scissors. Fucking do it! Notice what you care about right now, and that's your life's purpose right now. It doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be widely considered important. It doesn't even have to be something that's important to you in 5 minutes. The future? That's the next right now. We can worry about that later. Hey, if you like making life a little bit easier just by rationalizing all your problems away, come along. I got more. You get a chance to talk to God, you're allowed one question. Just go with me on this. It's going to take a direction you don't expect. I think I would get stymied in the moment and probably say, what the fuck? As I looked around me, and then that would count as my question, and I'd be out of luck. But Alan Watts suggests that the question to ask is, what question should I ask? It's like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We have the answer, but what's the fucking question? And then Watts suggests that the way God would answer is like, why do you want to have a question? It's because you'd feel like something was wrong if you didn't have one. If we did not have questions, we would have a problem with the absence of questions. Problems go away, and the new problem is an absence of problems. So that's how I'm gonna look at my difficulties today. If it weren't these, it'd be some others. Now, some are better than others. There's no question. But a problem-free philosophy, it's meaningless. This is why it's so interesting and important to me personally to address my problems by thinking about them differently. I don't necessarily need them to go away. Hope some of them do. But if I can think about them from a fresh perspective, they stay, but they don't fuck me up. Hey, if you like reframing stuff instead of actually fixing anything, come along. I got more.